Hey, it's Ben Gotchel from Holt Creek Jerseys, and today I'm going to show you all how we move our portable water tanks for our milk cows. We also use these portable water tanks for our buffalo, for our bison here on the ranch. But today I'm moving one for the milk cows. So stick around and I'll show you our tank setup, how we move them, how we turn them on, and how we water our cattle out here in the Sandhills of Nebraska. So here's our water tank. It's a steel tank on skids. Holds about 40 gallons. My dad built this, and he stamped Bible verses on just about everything that he built. He was a pretty good welder. But you can see the inlet hose right there on the bottom. You can't see the skids, they're kind of down in the grass right now. But then it's got a drain plug, and then underneath that cover is the float valve. You can't see it, but I'll show it to you after I drain the tank. So this is the tank. It's just a small, sturdy, strong metal tank that is tough enough to withstand use by cattle as well as bulls as well as buffalo. So here's where the outlet pipe is, or the supply line comes from. The tank's right there. The supply line comes right out of the ground. There's a quick connect with a banjo valve right there, and then there's a shutoff. So it's connected to an underground pipeline. We have a couple miles of this underground pipeline here on the ranch, and there's access points like this one at various spots on the ranch. So here, that T-handle just goes down. You unscrew the cap on the upright, and you put the T-handle in and kind of wiggle it around until it seats. And then you just turn it half turn to the right, counter or clockwise, and it shuts off the line. Then you can come down here to the banjo valve, push the pin, and flip down the lever. There's two levers, there's one on each side. Flip down the lever, and then the hose comes off, and that's just a banjo valve. And there's the supply pipe right there. Got the cap for that hanging on the fence right here. Also have a flag tied to the wire here so that we know where the upright is, so we can find it, and so somebody doesn't find it with a mower or something. So we'll put this cap back on, and then we'll get our tank drained and ready to roll. So here we've got the drain cap, which is in the tank. It's just another banjo valve on a banjo valve fitting, so I just got to reach in there and take it off. So just reach in there, push the button, flip the valve, lever, the valve, and then pull off the cap. Out she goes. While it's draining, I can unhook the hose from the inlet. That's another banjo valve on the other side. Just do that. Another one on the bottom, that, and then the supply hose comes off. Pull that out. If you're going a long ways, or if you're putting it in storage, you can hook it to itself like that. And then you can throw that in the tank for transport. So here we have the tank in transport mode. Got it hooked up to the four-wheeler with the chain. I always carried a short length of chain on the four-wheeler. I needed it there because that particular loop of chain wasn't long enough to go around my hitch without the tank hitting my tire, so I had to make it a little longer. But there's the cap. That would go down into that inlet valve. If I was storing it or going long distances, I'm not going a very long distance, so I'm not going to put that in. But I'll show you down under here. There's the float valve. It's just a regular apex valve or Job valve with a float ball on it. And you got the supply hose there ready to roll. The cap is in the tank. I could put that back on, but as I'm dragging around a little more, that water will drain out. And there's our water point marked with the flag tape, and we're ready to go move this so those girls can have some water. So here we are at the new location, a few hundred yards away. There's a bluebird house, but our new upright is down here in the fence line. Here's the water port and the shutoff, the upright. This is what the milk cows will be going on to next. Looks like a lot of weeds, a lot of wild hemp, a lot of those wild beans. You know, this is what we've had is a fairly wet year following a drought year, so we've had a lot of weed growth. But the cows do eat this stuff. They like it, and what really likes it are the game birds. This is excellent wild bird habitat. We have a lot of mourning dove, a lot of quail, a lot of wild turkey, even some and prairie chickens. So the wild birds just absolutely love this stuff after it goes to seed, after those little wild bean pods come on these plants. So what might look like a pasture full of weeds is really a diverse foraging area for our milking herd. We don't really do a whole lot of tillage or cover crop grazing or seeding or overseeding or anything like that. We just have what we have. The cows live in their environment. They adapt just like the bison, and we harvest the butter fat that they produce. So I'm gonna hook up this tank, which is just the reverse of the unhooking process, and then I'll show you when I turn it on how fast it fills up. So here I have the water on. I have it only turned on about a quarter of the way. I don't have it opened all the way up because it doesn't need to be. That's about how fast it's coming out of there. I'm just sticking the pipe down here at the front of the tank opposite of the drain just to kind of flush some of the gunk out, clean it out a little, and then I'll hook it up. So there I've hooked the inlet pipe on. You can see it coming out of the float there. You can see it comes out at a pretty good pace. Just kind of flushing some stuff out. It wasn't super dirty, but I like to flush it out anyway. So I'll go ahead and stick my cap on. Cap's on, tank's filling. Like I said, I don't have this thing full wide open. It's probably a quarter to a third of the way open. It's not open all the way. I could open it all the way, but I don't really need that much volume. If I did, it'd be enough to water the buffalo herd, which we use these little tanks to water about 150 head of buffalo. They're just heavy enough that they can't damage them, but they're light enough that they're still able to be towed around by the ATV. So that's our water setup here at Holt Creek Jerseys. When we're grazing cows around the ranch, we need water in a different spot. We don't have a permanent tank already there. We just hook it up. All right, thanks for watching. See you next time.